Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Nadia Sahari, with the Nadia Sahari Show. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing great, because I have a fabulous guest for you today, and we are going to have a fabulous show. So let me tell you a little bit about my show before we begin. It is to help you to get motivated with your dream. My guests appear on my show to give their secrets, their journey, and their challenges on how they became successful, how they keep doing it, how they maintain it, and how long they've been doing it, and just sharing good advice with you and giving us what we need to have hope for our dreams. And I want to tell you a little bit about my guest before I introduce him. And let's see if you can guess who he is. He has been with us over a third of a century and more than 145,000 hours of professional experience in the film and television industry. He has been involved that long. His background includes president of APS Entertainment, SAG franchise talent agent and agency co-owner. He's a personal manager, producer, casting director, a stunt person, a talk show host, a film and television actor. Oh my goodness, I can't go on. I thought I was the one that was multitask. Boy, he beats me. And I want to introduce this Mr. Wonderful, they call him, of professional wrestling and a 3-time Hall of Famer. And he's been nominated and is expected to be inducted into the 2020 Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. And let me introduce you right now to my guest and my friend, Riddle. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show.
Well, thank you very much. And by the way, that Hall of Fame coming up 2020, that's Lou Thez. The Lou Thez National Wrestling Alliance Hall of Fame. Yes, it is, because Gerald Briscoe, Senior Vice President, I believe, of WWE, has nominated me for that honor. That will be the 4th Hall of Fame, assuming that I get in.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Here's some insight for those of you who follow professional wrestling.
Okay.
Gerald Briscoe, Hall of Famer, WWE, a major person in that organization, someone who goes back for, several decades, and I'm being kind. Jerry Briscoe believes that he has more faith and more belief in me almost than I have in me. He has a higher opinion of me than I have of me, and I have a very high opinion of me. And that is cool. That is one of the secrets of success. Yeah. Have a high opinion of yourself.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is,
Absolutely.
Huh? I hope somebody else hears this, because, listen, I have that also, and boy, they keep trying to bring me down because they think I'm just too confident.
Well, you just laugh at them. Or if you want, you can feel pity for them because they don't understand. No, it's just like if someone does not like me. Yes. I really don't care. It's better, I suppose, if everyone loves you. But if someone doesn't like me, that's not my problem. It's their problem.
That's right.
If I don't like someone, it's not their problem, it's my problem. And I suggest to all of you, I'm speaking you plural right now, if you don't like me, or if I don't like you, hey, that's my problem. Don't take it on. If someone offers you a gift, I pick up, here's a magnet on my desk. I say, this is for you. Now, if you do not accept it, who does the magnet belong to? It belongs to me. If I offer you an insult or a put down and you don't accept it, who does it belong to? It belongs to me.
Interesting. Well, let's think about this here. I want to talk to you because I was reading up on you, And I read that you feel, by your own admission, that you're some kind of a bumblebee when you were growing up. What did you mean by that exactly, and how was your childhood?
Okay, I'm a private pilot, and all pilots know this. According to all aeronautical knowledge, all scientific knowledge, bumblebees cannot fly. Bumblebees are aerodynamically unsound. Their bodies are too big and fat. Their wings are too small. If we were to build an exact duplicate of the bumblebee, put a little battery in it and make it go exactly the way that the real bumblebees do, turn it on, let it go, it's going to go directly into the ground because bumblebees cannot fly. It's impossible. Here's the thing, though. Bumblebees don't know they can't fly, so they fly anyway. Most people know they cannot succeed, therefore they cannot succeed. Why don't you if you're one of those people who's listening who says, yeah, well, that might be me, great, turn it around so that you cannot fail.
That's right.
I can give you a fast story if you'd like that will demonstrate.
Go ahead.
All right. When I was 14 years old, I saw my first professional wrestling match. I sat down in the middle of my living room, watched Channel 11 in North Carolina, Charlie Harville, live wrestling. Not 6-second delay or 10-second delay, but actual live. And I watched these two wrestlers who inspired me. I had never seen professional wrestling before. I saw the humor. I saw the joy. I saw the passion that these people had. And I said, that's something that I might want to do. Now, I weighed 128 pounds, and all of these guys were about 250 and up. On my 16th birthday, I made that commitment. I said, I will be a professional wrestler. So weighing 129 pounds, something like that, I was sitting in a barber chair in Graham, North Carolina. This was it was a house with one of those little rooms added on with one barber chair in it. And the barber said, I told him, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. And he looked at me and said, boy, that's a pipe dream. You ain't never going to be a wrestler. You'd have to gain 100 pounds. Your bone structure's too small. I think you ought to just get a job like your daddy. He's been a working. No, he has. He's been a working in the drugstore. I sort of like soda jerk, but I mean, he's been working in the drugstore since he's 14. He's going to have his house paid for it another 8 years. I don't know why anybody'd want to have them kind of ideas. You know, it ain't going to never happen.
I love it when they do that. I love it when they say you can't. I love it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, because that drives me to it, and I do it.
See, he did not understand, and the other people who made fun of me and laughed at me when I told them this is what I am doing.
Yes.
That they did not understand. That was a commitment.
Yes.
Not a dream. Here's one of my dreams, and I've always dreamed about, continue dreaming, but how about making it into a reality?
Yes.
Let's go forward 5 years to make this story shorter. 5 years later, I was in that same section of North Carolina. I had been wrestling professionally for a couple of years. I weighed 236 pounds. That's 236 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. I'm in the ring with my blonde hair and my velvet robes and my amazing outfit and my ability. I wrestled a former world champion, George Becker. I beat him in the middle of the ring, made the front page of the local newspapers, that kind of thing. The day after, I went back to Graham, North Carolina, to that barber, that same barber. I was sitting in his chair to get a haircut. He was behind me. He had the shears and in one hand, the little scissors in the other hand, and he was just holding them. And then he put them down, and he walked around in front of the chair, and he shook his head. He says, boy, you've done it. I can't believe it. I remember 5 years ago, you weighed 100 pounds less. Man, I don't think nothing's impossible no more. And I said, bingo. Nothing is impossible unless you think it's possible. I went on to wrestle main events and sell-out arenas all over the United States, up into Canada. At the height of my career, I had top billing over the heavyweight championship of the world. So, and now I do color commentary for a wrestling show. I continue going around to events 3-4 times a year, to professional wrestling events, signing autographs and that kind of thing, and taking pictures and speaking to people. Mm-hmm. So I experienced a good deal of success in that business. If you measure success financially, I don't know that I did that well, but I averaged over $250,000 a year for something that I would have paid to do. Something that gave me a wonderful sense of myself, and to me, it's one of the greatest things anyone could ever do. And unless people have actually been in the ring, they have really no idea. They think they know, but they don't know.
Right.
Dick Bockwinkel, when he was alive, said, "Professional wrestling is more addictive than heroin." And I'll just give you a visual. Here I am. Me and you, whoever's listening, you and I, are in the ring. We have 22,000 people. It's a sellout. You and I are wrestling. We can stand the people up, bring them to the edge of the ring, back them up, sit them back down at will. It is the greatest feeling of power. There are not a lot of people who can do that, but those people who can do that in the professional wrestling business are the people who are best known, who make the most money. So if you can, if I, some little kid, skinny, shy kid from North Carolina, could become a professional wrestler and make a very, very good living at it, whatever, all of you who are listening, you, I'm talking to you right there. Yes, shake your head. See, yes, you. If I could do it, my gosh, can't you do it? Of course you can do it.
Oh, man.
All you
Yes.
need to do is believe.
Yes.
Believe, achieve.
Yes.
It's very simple. Most of the people simply need to get out of their own way, and success will be there. Whatever you want will be there. There's one other thing, and then ask me questions, but I think this is really important for everybody. And some certain people will say, thank you for this. I know he was doing this for my benefit, and I am. So don't tune out right now. Listen to this. Everything you have ever gone through in your life, all of the horror you have experienced, all of the joy, all of the loss, all of the things for which you are not particularly proud, the times you called suicide prevention and stayed up with them all night on the phone. The times when you were thinking, what benefit do I have? All of the things that you experienced, you had to experience to make you the person you are right now. So is it justifiable? Of course it is. See, I'll make it personal. I was the person who was on all night on the phone with suicide prevention. And I said, tell me, my whole world is gone. This had been quite a while ago. Why should I go on? So because I was asking, they never could give me a reason, but they kept me talking. And then the light of day came the next day and things moved on. I have been, from one person's point of view, a professional whose opinion is valued. This person said, Brock, you have endured the tortures of the damned. I said, wow. We've all been through things. We all think that we've had it worse on us than other people have. But everything that happened to me, everything that I caused to happen, the loss, all of my friends and family, people who've died, people to whom I've been mean and I've hurt them, the joys I've had in my life, everything. If I could go back and do it all over again, I don't know if I could live through it a second time. It's like miraculous that I lived through it the first time, but I would not change a single thing, because now, every day, I wake up, I look in the mirror, and I like that person. And I know that had anything not happened exactly the way it did, that this person who's talking to you would not be the same person. For those of you who do not wake up, look in the mirror, and like yourself, fake it. Fake it until you make it, so to speak.
Yes.
Look in the mirror. When I was a little kid, someone told me this. They said, if you don't think you're good looking, look in the mirror and say, I'm handsome, I'm beautiful. And keep saying it over and over and over. And then you'll look in the mirror one day and you'll say, wow, I really am. That happened with me.
Yes.
I thought I was an ugly kid. I look at pictures and I said, I wasn't ugly. Why did I think I was ugly?
Yes.
Well, because I was told that I was ugly. I had horrible things said to me when I was a very impressionable kid. Now, can I be mean and do bad things and blame that? You had a head shape. Your head was shaped like a football, and you almost killed your mother when you were born. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Up yours, scumbag. How dare you do that to an innocent little kid? To say that. Wasn't said in jest, I don't think, but even if it were, you have to be careful what you said. Am I glad it was said to me? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm glad of everything.
Yes.
But it's all a belief system. It's all believing in yourself. I'm the president of my own fan club, not in reality, but in my own head. I am my own hero. People have asked me this one question about professional wrestling. They said, Rock, do you have any regrets? You've been in the professional wrestling business for decades. This past April 29th in Las Vegas, you took on B. Brian Blair. You took on Matt Stryker. You defeated Matt Stryker. I mean, my gosh, you defeated these two WWE superstars. But do you have any regrets? And I said, yes, I have one regret. My one regret is that I was not able to sit front row ringside and watch myself in the ring live. That's how much a fan of me and the character I created I became. I think it, and people see that and they understand it. Same thing in the acting business. Don't do what other people are doing, because most people who call themselves actors are failing. If you want to succeed, do exactly the opposite of what they are suggesting, and you'll have a much higher probability. I turn down 2 to 3 requests per month by producers who want me to do something, some part in a film or a television project. People out there who are listening to this show who are actors, you're going to say, you lie. That's not true. Yes, it's absolutely true. Well, how do you do that? Well, the way you do that is you have friends in the entertainment industry on the production side. And many of my friends, most of my producer friends, don't know whether or not I was ever in front of the camera, because we don't talk about that. I don't say, hey, guess what I used to do? Do you know that I used to be in front of the camera? Could I use you, Mr. and Miss Producer, to make myself get back in this business? Oh, baloney. It doesn't work that way. Go to give, not to take. So many. There's a sort of a joke, and it's a sad joke. People laugh when it's told, but it's also sad because it's so true. And the joke is this: how many actors does it take to change a light bulb? The answer is 1. The actor holds the light bulb, and the world revolves around them. And too many people believe their own publicity. Too many people don't understand that it's not for their benefit. If I, as a producer, and we've produced, 17 television shows, had Academy Award winners on, we have 3 upcoming feature film projects right now. If I meet you and I like you, and you approach me in a nice way, and especially if you know about me ahead of time, and you talk about my favorite subject, which is me, and I'm representative of most producers and most people in this world, then I'm going to find you fascinating. You say, Rock, I understand you have a movie coming up you're going to be producing, and it's called When Wrestling Was Real. I know you've kept it quiet, but I saw in IMDb that it's up. I know there's not very much, but at least it's showing up now. And when's that happening? And I'd love to be a part of that. By the way, do you really have Jake the Snake Roberts? Yes. Tell me, do you know Jake? Yes, for decades I know Jake. What stories would you like to hear? Yeah. Did you know? Did you know Dusty Rhodes? Yes, I was at his funeral in Tampa. Did you know Roddy Piper? Yeah, that still hurts that we lost Roddy Piper 4 years ago, July 31st, 4 years ago. He got his big break because of me, and because would he have gotten it without me? Possibly. I think I sped it up for him. I opened a door for him, and he went through that door.
And he catapulted himself.
Absolutely. Once he was in the door, he took that and he built on it.
Yes.
That's a story. I have so many stories about so many people in the entertainment industry, in the professional wrestling industry. I'm a publicist, so I can talk about PR.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to continue. I have some questions, and we will be right back. So don't go away. And we're back with Rock Riddle. So, Rock, are you still wrestling today?
I wrestled April 29th in Las Vegas, April 29th, 2019,
Wow.
since people may be listening to this many, many years in the future.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. There were at least 6 press releases, lots of stories, lots of press about it, and I have it documented. There was a movie crew that went down there, and a 3-camera shoot. Actually, we had a 4th camera, but 3 main cameras shot in 4K, a red camera, and a couple of other 4K cameras. So I have that in an upcoming feature film project that we are doing. And if it works, fantastic. And if not, we can always shoot something else. But I trained for that. I am fairly happy with that. It was something that people had not seen before. It was the match was different than what they had seen before. The people were very excited about it. They very much got behind it. That's the last time I've wrestled. I do get in the ring every maybe once or twice a month in San Bernardino, California, at a place called the School of Hard Knocks. It's a professional wrestling school and a major professional wrestling promotion for Southern California, at least. And they train people and supply really talented people to WWE and others. So I will go out there and help to train people. A few weeks ago, I was in Waterloo, Iowa at the NWA Hall of Fame yearly 3-day event. One of the things that goes on there is that younger professional wrestlers will come out and wrestle in front of a crowd where there's an evaluation. Jerry Briscoe, who's a talent person for WWE, for the second year in a row, asked me if I would sit in with him watching these people wrestle, and then we do the evaluation in front of them in a private room. We say, this is what you did right, this is what's wrong, this is why you'll never be considered by WWE or any major group until this happens. So I told them at the beginning, think of me as a friend. A friend tells you the things that are hard to say. If I tell you you did great, that's fine. Continue what you're doing. That is an insult to you. That's a disservice to you. That's like a slap in the face to you because it will not help. I will tell you, your forearms look bad. If you don't know how to throw a forearm, don't throw a forearm. Your entrance looked bad. You don't know how to connect with the people. You must connect with the people. It's just like actors. I will tell them the same thing. If you don't believe it, the audience won't believe it.
Amen. That is so true. I have a question for you.
Yes, please.
We know that today, probably, I don't even know when this all started, but today we have women wrestlers.
Yes.
What do you think of that? I think that is marvelous.
I think that's absolutely fine. There have been lady wrestlers around for a long, long time.
Yes.
I started professional wrestling back in the late 70s. Actually, could have been the mid-70s. But I claim to have been born in 73, so that doesn't make any sense. July 12, 1973. Yes, indeed you do.
You have a great radio voice, by the way, and I'm sure that you and voiceover and I also found out that you're an author. You've written a book of how to become a magnet to Hollywood success.
Yes, I co-authored that. I was writing it alone. That I asked a friend because I was quoting her. I said, I would like to quote you and give you credit. As we talked, I said, okay, that's a good idea. How would you like to co-write this with me? So it ended up as us co-writing it. It became an Amazon.com #1 bestseller. It outsold Harry Potter when Harry Potter was the greatest, highest selling book of all time for just over an hour on Amazon. Not because it was a fantastic book. It has saved a couple of people's lives, so therefore I think it is a fantastic book. But there are tons and tons and tons of brilliant books out there.
Yes.
The reason it became #1 was because it was marketed and promoted to become #1.
That's right.
It's just like, why are certain people very, very famous and not very talented? Because they hired a really good publicist. I'm the best. I'm not looking for any clients. But I really am not. I turned down most people who were referred to me. It's just because I don't want to work 120 hours a week anymore.
Yes.
Now I'll do 65 hours a week for my clients. The rest of the time is for me. And for me, that's a lot of extra time where I can do other things that are of interest and change people's lives and give them insight and inspiration and motivation and let them know that every day above ground is a good day.
Amen. And I remember the day that I sat in your office and spoke to you and asking you questions. This had way before you didn't even know I had this show. I didn't talk about it very much because I was doing acting. I'm still acting, by the way. I haven't given that up. And because I love it, it was my dream, and I did it. I accomplished my goals and my dreams. And like you, I went through hard times, and I went through those bad times.
Yes.
But I kept going forward. I kept fighting for what I want because I had passion just like you.
Yep.
And I remember sitting across from you in your desk, and we were talking, and we were just visiting like friends and everything. And I was going to attend one of your seminars, and I enjoyed your seminars, and I think they're wonderful. And I thought you were brilliant. I thought And you talked to me about your wrestling and how you were a wrestler. You showed me your championship belt. And, yeah.
Yes.
And I was impressed. I was so impressed. And I thought, wow, that's the first time I saw a championship belt. So you're an author and you are a producer. Are you still doing stunts? Are you still a personal manager? Do you still have the talent agency?
No.
Okay.
The talent agency, I sold my half of it years ago. It made the most money for me that anything has in the last 25 years. Mm-hmm. But see, life's about much more than money.
That's right.
And it got to the point it wasn't fun anymore.
Yes.
I was co-owner of this Beverly Hills-based talent agency. I said to my partner, because every time money kept coming in, my partner would say, I should get more than 50% of that. And then I said to her at one point, I said, I'm not happy. I'm not looking forward to coming in the morning. I'm vastly overqualified for this job. I feel like I'm in a straitjacket. You've always wanted to buy me out. Now's your opportunity. Buy me out. And she says, well, Rock, I don't know if you recall, but my husband and I just bought a home way, way, way more expensive than we could possibly afford. And as much as I would like to take you up on your offer, I cannot make you a reasonable offer at all. I said, make me an unreasonable offer. She did. I said, it's yours. And I backed away because if it's not fun, don't do it.
That's right.
So a lot of the things in my background, everything in my background to some degree was successful. Even if I had things that were not successful, that was still successful because it helped me to become the person who I am. I have a fast story, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
I think this could be an inspiration to people. It certainly was an eye-opener to me. Maybe 8 months ago, and I don't even remember who said it. I don't even remember where, but I remember what was said. Mm-hmm. My mother is 95 years of age right now.
Oh, God bless her.
Yep, lives alone, and I'm helping financially to make that possible for her to stay in the home. Oh. So subconsciously, I look at that and say, well, if she can make it to 95,
yes.
I can maybe I can make it to 95.
Yes.
8 months or so ago, this person said to me, a gentleman said to me, Rock, I have an idea. Here's what you need to do. It hasn't been done yet, and I know you do a lot of things where you like pioneer things. I think you should wrestle on your 100th birthday.
I love it.
I just stared. I had this blank stare, this goofy look on my face for a moment. Mm-hmm. And then I put my hand out and I shook his hand and I said, thank you so much. You just gave me 5 more years of life. Because now, because I was not able to see past 95, now I look at, yes, why not?
Why not?
Why not make that a goal to wrestle on my 100th birthday?
That's right. Make it a goal. Go forward with it, and you will accomplish it. See it, believe it, achieve it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, everybody listening, you must live a long, long, long time because my 100th birthday is way, way, way away.
Especially because you were born in 1971.
73, July 12, 1973. Yes. So
I'm older than you.
Well, most people are older than me, and I keep getting younger as we continue.
Well, wait a minute. I'm getting younger, too.
Okay. Well, we have that ability.
Yes, we do. See it, believe it, achieve it.
Absolutely. So everyone listening, on my 100th birthday,
yes,
50-some years from now, when you see that I actually do that, hopefully you listen now and you don't have to wait until then to decide, wow, the guy knows what he's talking about. Do it now and you will surpass me. Like my own son. My son is 24. Mm-hmm. He surpassed me when he was 17. He did. 17 years of age. He went around the world. He's been to
That's incredible.
Just about every country.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. He just flew in from Australia, stayed with me for 5 days, and then headed out. He said, yeah, I'm going to go to Washington, Maryland, going to go to New York, then I'm going to head up to Montreal. And he was at Machu Picchu. He took a bicycle ride on the most dangerous road in the world, and he's done everything. He was with when he was in Israel for, I think, 60 days. He took a civilian course with the Israeli elite military, whatever they're called, and just he does things, hiking mountains and things like that, to experience life to its fullest. And I asked him about that military special forces thing. He says, yeah, I did it. I will never, I promise you, I will never, ever do it again, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
So things like that. And most of us see such limitations. We limit ourselves. I mean, my goodness. If you want someone to sabotage you, there's only one person to worry about, and that's you, because nobody else can do it without your permission.
You can't complain about what you allow.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. And I mean, not to get too close with anybody, and I know some people will know this when I say it, but for those who have been in abusive relationships, if we can go there for a moment.
Well, that's me.
I know. That's why I was being gently going around it.
Yes.
So many people, though,
yes,
when they leave one, they will go right back to another one, and to another one, and to another one, because they have to change something inside. They have to change some programming first.
Right. That's right.
Do you know why the vast majority of people fail? Because they have a pronounced fear of success. Most people are terrified of success.
Yes.
Those of you who are saying, not me, well, examine it. Really look at it. Yes. It's easy to fail. You've got great support systems. The way this country at least works is we're all supposed to be victims. Isn't that what the media tells us? We're all victims, and it's not our fault. It's that other group's fault. It's the rich people's fault. You should hate the rich people. Right. No, if you're not rich, why not emulate them, the most positive of the positive, and become them?
Exactly.
Your own better version.
Exactly.
Well, if I tear down the rich people, I'll feel better. Yeah, who told you they are the enemy? Well, it's that group over there. It's their fault that I'm not further ahead. No, it's your fault.
That's right. That's right. We're all accountable for ourselves.
That's it.
It's if you don't have the passion, you're not going to succeed. The passion is the key, just like you have, like I have. And I'm a multitasker because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like you. And I can't do just one thing. I'm that little girl in the candy store. I'm tasting all the candy, and I love it. I can't just have one candy bar and eat the same one over and over. It's not me. And you're like that. And I mean, I had no idea. I had no idea until I saw all the things that you've done, and I thought, and everyone is telling me I should focus on one thing, but that's not me.
You tell them, thank you very much. That's a wonderful suggestion. And then continue doing what you know that you need to do. And that is be extraordinarily successful. Follow all of your passions.
Yes.
Because here are two sentences, two versions of the same sentence, but I think everyone should hear.
Okay.
Yes, you can have it all.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can do it all.
Yes.
Well, I have to make a choice between this and this. No, you don't.
That's right.
And if I could give one piece of advice to everyone out there, everyone, here's a very powerful word that you can use, very powerful phrase, if you will. Everyone repeat after me, no. All you have to do is say no. Well, I have to take this part. I have to take whatever comes along. No, you don't.
No.
You don't have to do anything. Why don't you take control of your life instead of playing victim? Here's this 450-pound guy who just came in to the room, and he says, it's not my fault I weigh 438 pounds. No, it ain't. It's McDonald's fault.
Yeah.
No, sir. I'm sorry. No, it's not McDonald's fault. It is your fault. Yeah. Well, it's glandular, Really? Well, why don't I confine you to one of the rooms in my home, feed you 3,000, no, make that 1,000 calories a day, and see how much weight you have, quote, gained, end quote, after 30 days. I bet you'll discover that, oh my gosh, you've lost 40, 50 pounds in 30 days when you could not do it. I'm trying to stop smoking. No, you're not. There is no try. You either stop or you don't.
That's right. That's right. The trying means failure. You cannot.
Yes.
When you try, you fail. You have to commit, just like you did.
Yes.
With your wrestling. Yes.
Many people say, Rock, you should be committed. But remember when I did seminars, when you came to a couple of those seminars, and I would ask the audience, I would say, we're doing another seminar with this particular award-winning producer, 2-time Academy Award winner, et cetera, next month on this date. How many of you will be back?
Yes, I remember.
Get hands up, and I'd get every once in a while someone who would have their hand like half up.
Yes.
And I would say to that person with the hand halfway up, well, what does the halfway hand up mean? Are you going to be here or not? The person says, well, I'm going to try. I looked at that person and said, we will all miss you.
Yes, I remember. I remember you doing that to someone.
Yeah. And see, the reality is that person doesn't know that they just said, I'm not coming.
That's right.
You asked me to do something. I don't have a problem saying no. Rock, can you do the radio show, the podcast? Yeah, I'll make it work. Give me a choice of dates. Good, we'll do that. But if I did not want to do it, if I were just so extraordinarily busy I could not meet your schedule, something like that, I don't have a problem saying, nope, sorry, I wish you the best. I don't have time to do it. So it's okay to say no. Well, what if I hurt the person's feelings? Oh, well, if you hurt their feelings, too bad for them. Maybe helped them by saying something that they interpreted as hurting their feelings because they've been told that they should have hurt feelings and they should. Baloney. Maybe then they can face that and say, wait a minute, why am I angry at this person? Oh, give me a fast story, if we still have time.
Oh, you have plenty of time. Go ahead.
This probably happened over 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I'm a private pilot. I had my aircraft, Grumman American AA-5B, better known as Grumman Tiger. I had it on lease back at the Van Nuys Airport, busiest general aviation airport in the world.
Yes.
So when I was not flying it, when I did not need it, that everyone loved that aircraft. You could fly with the canopy part way back, very fast, very amazing aircraft. So people who were qualified to fly it were allowed to rent it for a specific trip, as long as I did not have it scheduled. I got a phone call from the company that had it on leaseback, that was handling it for me, and they called me early in the morning. They said, "Rock, do you have the Tiger?" And I said, "No, you better have it." And they say, "We think it may have been stolen. It's not here. If you don't have it, we don't have any idea." You cannot take an aircraft in the sky without talking to somebody, without some tower, without some radio, without some part of aviation knowing about it. So I had located the aircraft. I'd made some phone calls. I have a degree in criminology and law enforcement, used to do investigative detective and surveillance type work privately, so I'm able to figure things out. And I knew in a short period of time who had stolen it, and I knew where it was headed. And it was on final approach or near final approach for Modesto Airport. By that time, I was at the airport. I was at Van Nuys Airport, and there was a fellow pilot there, several of them. And this one guy says, "Rock, my plane's very fast. Let's go. I got a baseball bat in the back. You can use it. Let's go get that SOB." And no, seriously. And I said, "No, thank you very much." What? Don't you hate him? Don't you want to hurt him? He stole your airplane. He stole your baby. And airplanes are like, pilots will say more wonderful things about their aircraft than they will their wives, basically. He says, let's go. I said, no. He says, why? My response was, I know who took it. I will have my aircraft back. And I have no desire to inflict bodily injury on this person, breaking legs, that kind of thing. I did not even have the sheriff's department waiting for him when the aircraft landed. And this is what I said to them. The worst thing I could do to hurt this person is to leave the person alone. I knew at that time who it was. Leave him alone and allow him to continue to self-destruct. We found, and I had my aircraft back the next day. I talked with the person who stole it, and I got it delivered the next day. What people did not understand was what he had been going through.
Right.
His son had committed suicide several days before in an aircraft that he flew deliberately straight down into the ground. This guy had a lot of problems, and I'm not going to add to them. I'm not going to have the sheriff's department take him to jail and lock him up. I'm not going to do any of that. My gosh, he would be, if I had pressed charges or if I had made a big deal of that, he could still be in jail for grand theft air.
Oh, boy, absolutely. Well, I took pilot lessons too. I actually was one solo flight away from getting my license in Las Vegas. I lived in Las Vegas for 8 years.
Fantastic. We should go flying sometime.
Yeah, well, the reason I didn't get it is my cousin owned Las Vegas Flyers. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
Yes, my cousin owned that. And unfortunately, because it was a very painful time, he had, and you will remember this when I tell you, he had taken a family of 10 on a plane to take them to Disneyland from Las Vegas, and they got caught in a storm.
I understand.
Yeah.
I had a good friend who was killed in a plane crash also. Virtually every air disaster, every time an aircraft crashes,
Yes.
nearly 100%, it's pilot error.
Pilot error, that's right. Well, you know what? You are very interesting, very impressive. You've done a lot. It's really good to meet someone of the opposite sex that's stuff and gets involved with different things. And haven't met too many people that are like me. I enjoy everything I do, and when I don't enjoy it, I drop it and start something else. And I just keep on starting other things. I love creating things. And if they bore me, I drop them and I start something else that entertains me and makes me feel wonderful and happy.
I know we're getting short on time. Would you like one final testimonial?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. About 4 years ago, the thing that killed my friend Roddy Piper, I also had that. It was deep vein thrombosis, which means blood clot, and pulmonary embolism, which means that blood clot went through my heart and went into my lung. Unfortunately, with Roddy, it stopped in his heart and killed him.
Oh.
However, and I have a very high threshold to pain. That's why I was in the wrestling business. That's one of the reasons I was successful.
Yes.
And the other thing was the ability to talk and the ability to wrestle. And I never met a camera or a microphone I didn't like. So anyway.
I love it. Me too. And let me say, I have to interject this.
Yes.
I've had the thrombophlebitis also. When I was pregnant, my first husband had abused me and caused the thrombophlebitis. And I was fine for many years until 2 years ago. I was flying to California from somewhere, I forget where, and I was flying. I was in the plane 4 hours sitting, and I stood up, of course, but not enough. And then I sat 4 hours in the traffic in L.A., and then I sat in a concert for 4 hours. Anyway, long story short, I got it again 2 years ago. So I've been fortunate that it didn't go to my lungs or my heart or my brain. and I've been on blood thinners, and I'm doing very well.
Excellent. Excellent. When I was in that hospital room and they were coming in, asking me what my wishes were, what my desires were,
Yes.
I said, what are you talking about? I desire to be out of here. They said, no, what would you like us? I said, wait a minute, you're talking about what do I want if I die? You better not be asking me that. I want you to put big signs all over this room and 12-inch tall letters that say resuscitate with about 20 exclamation points, because you resuscitate. Life is the most precious thing.
Yes.
I was in excruciating pain.
Very.
Pain, yes, pain way beyond anything I had felt before. Morphine was not working.
Yes.
I get a shot of morphine, and 12, 15 minutes later, it's back the same thing. And then my doctor gave me something where I was in in and out of 3 different levels of reality. And when I saw him afterward, I said, I don't want whatever you gave me, never give me that again. I'll stick with the pain. The worst day of my life, where I was so close to death, was a really good day. It was a great day because I was still above ground. Every day above ground is a wonderful day and a wonderful opportunity to make a difference again. Yes. So with that in mind, it's for you out there who are listening and you've just broken up, something happened, the love of your life, your soulmate has left you, something bad has happened, you're thinking, how can you possibly go on? Your entire world has been destroyed. But I'm saying 10 years from now, it will be different. 5 years from now, a year from now, don't take yourself out. Don't look at it as, wow, this is something I have to go through to make me the better person that I will be in 6 months, and then the better person in a year. And the times that I said, I went to doctors at this one point in my life that when I lost the love of my life, and okay, so that you listening, you know that I know what I'm talking about. I lost the love of my life. I realized afterward that it was my fault. And here's visually what I felt like. I am in a rocket, a space shuttle type thing. I have left planet Earth. I am looking back at it. I'm going to go in space, go around the planet maybe 8 or 10 times, and then land. As I'm looking at planet Earth, it blows up. My whole life is gone.
Yes. My
world is gone. Why would I want to go on? Now, there are people out there who say, how does he know? That's exactly what I feel like. My whole world has just been destroyed. Yes, there are other worlds. And there are better worlds. Oh, no, this was the love of my life. Yeah, of course. That was the love of my life. And thank goodness, had life not gone on, my son would not be here.
Yes.
He would not exist. And he is one of the most incredibly wonderful people I've ever met my whole life. Yeah, he's just excels at everything.
That's great. That is super. Yes.
I am in awe of this guy.
Yes, and so young to do that and to be so energetic and so focused and passionate about what he's doing. It's incredible at that age.
And not only that, he would be a great person to have on your show. At the age of 16, he got his first film awards.
Wow.
Award-winning. He's accomplished so much.
That's wonderful.
And when I was talking with him, it was his philosophy, his understanding, his truth of life. I said, you will be an inspiration for me. And he smiled because he doesn't restrict himself. He doesn't put himself in a straitjacket like virtually all people do.
Yes.
And he says, I said, so where are you headed from here? He says, don't know yet.
But guess what? He takes after you're the perfect role model. You are a great role model for him, and he is you. He is confident, and passionate and willing to go out there and do his life.
He's brilliant. He can work from wherever he wants remotely, so he doesn't have to be anywhere. So he's really getting an experience of life. I'll tell you when he was born. He was born in Australia. I was here. His mom is Australian. And to be in the private hospitals, have the best care, etc. So I was going to go over and be there for his birth. He decided to come a little early. So I got this phone call from this uncle, and he says, Mr. Riddle, you have an absolutely beautiful, healthy baby boy. And my response to this person whom I had never met were exactly these words. Thank God he took after me.
I love it. What a great way to end the show. You are amazing. And I'm so happy that you were my guest. I learned a lot of new things about you I didn't know. Thank you so much. And would you tell people how they can connect with you?
How's this for an answer? If you want to find me, you can. Rock, R-O-C-K, Riddle, R-I-D-D-L-E. Remind me of this podcast. I'll invite you as my guest. It won't even cost you anything. Hopefully something that's been said today really hit home.
Yes.
Internalize it. You can change your life around. You can change your life at any moment. You can make it what you want it to be. Yes, you can have it all.
Yes, you can. If you can, I can, everyone can.
Absolutely. It's a gift.
That's right.
Don't believe what you hear. Don't fall for the traps. Don't hate people whom you've never met because someone or some media tells you to hate this person. Argue the other side of every issue. Find out what you really believe. Let it be your belief, not someone else's propaganda that you have taken on, and now you have almost like a religious zeal for loving this or hating this or going for one side or the other. And there's so much misinformation. There's so much propaganda. We are manipulated so horribly. People, think for yourselves. Research everything. Find your own truth, not someone else's. You're going to be free. Yes. Be a leader, not a follower.
Absolutely. And don't hate anyone because they're making more money, or those people are working hard for what they earn. Those people got education. They learned what they had to learn to make it and to be successful. They put effort into it. No one gave it to them. Sure, some people inherited money. Big deal. So what? They deserve to inherit the money. Their parents worked hard, or whomever left them the money. Don't be jealous. You can have everything anybody has if you work, if you are determined, if you have the passion, if you don't give up. We can all do it. There's no reason to hate anyone or to say, oh, well, I hate rich people. Oh, I hate that person because they have this big company. They have billions. Well, sure, they worked hard for it.
I learned from those people.
Oh, boy.
And if someone says, Rock, I hate you, guess what? They are giving me their power. They're giving away their power to me, and I will just smile if I can't help them because it doesn't make any difference to me.
Yes.
You know, I made a lot of money in the wrestling business being a bad guy, causing people to come out and pay their money to see me get beaten. And I would usually disappoint them, and they'd come back week after week, month after month. And I would get on the microphone and tell them, I said, I have your money in my pocket. You paid to see me. I didn't pay to see you, etc. Manipulation of people is okay if it's done positively, if everyone involved benefits and no one anywhere on this planet is hurt as a result.
Exactly.
So if I can maneuver you into feeling good about yourself, taking your own power. Remember when you first went to see in the theaters a Star Wars movie and you felt empowered? I remember the first one. I asked people, they said, it's the greatest movie ever. I said, was it because the acting was so great? Well, no, it wasn't. Was it because of the special effects? Well, the special effects were really good, but they're equally good in other films. Was it the storyline, a Western in space? Well, not really. Then what is it that causes you to say that this movie is so fantastic? And they could not figure it out. And it was trust the force. You have this power at your fingertips. The power is within. The power of the universe can flow through you, etc. So people, when they left, they felt really more powerful. They felt empowered. And that's why Star Wars made so much money. You can say, oh, I hate George Lucas because he's rich. No, thank him for showing you, and for sort of making a path for you that you can follow where you understand. Little Yoda says, that little puppet thing, little Yoda says, and if you didn't know it was a puppet, sorry about that. And little Yoda says, okay, I'll give you the whole story. Luke Skywalker has his craft in a bog, and he's trying to get it out of the bog, and he's trying to do it telekinetically. Power of his mind, lifting it, instead of, in case some people don't know that. And Yoda says, lift your craft from the bog. Skywalker says, I'm trying. And little Yoda says, no, try, do. Try means fail. That's Either right. Do it or don't. You ask me to do something for you, I will never say I'll try. That means I won't do it. So I do not have the word try in my vocabulary. I will say yes if I can do it, and if I feel good about doing it, or if I don't, I'll say no.
Yes.
When I turn down people for PR, for example, if I have personality conflict, if I'm not passionate about their outcome, I'm not doing it. Yes. It has to be something I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I said, oh, I've got this great idea for Nadia, and this is going, I'm writing the press release in my head. Oh, this is fantastic. And instead of just saying, oh, well, let me turn over, I need to sleep. No, I'll come in to my home office here and I will write that out. And I'll say, this is brilliant. Okay, and I'll come up with an entire PR campaign. Because if you were a client, Nadia, then it would be because I have almost as much passion, sometimes more passion than my client, in seeing your success. Yes. It's like, okay, you've accomplished all of this, but what you're doing is so powerful and so necessary, and it's touching so many people's lives, is literally saving people's lives.
Yes.
We need to make that global. Take that as fast as you can, as far as you can. Yes. Save more lives. Don't do it slowly. Do it quickly. Have a sense of urgency about it. And then as you get those testimonials in saying, I was ready to give up on my life. I had literally purchased this poison, and I listened to your podcast, and I went over to the poison. I went to the toilet and poured it in the toilet. Mm-hmm. And I said, Nadia, thank you. I choose life.
Yes. And that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what this show is for.
If you ask the parents of little tiny kids or who are expecting kids, you say, well, when your child attempts to take their first step, and of course they're going to fall down, would you just say, okay, that's it, you tried, you can't do it, you're never going to walk? How many times would you allow that kid to fall? And every parent is going to say, my child will take as many times as is necessary. And then you look at that parent and you say, why won't you do that for you?
Yes, I love that. That's a great analogy.
You have one disappointment, you take it as a failure, you feel you're the failure. And you don't try anymore.
You're
try.
Right.
You don't effort anymore. You just sit, wallow in your own self-pity. And then you wonder why people don't feel sorry for you. Well, there's no space. You're already feeling so sorry for yourself that there's no space for anybody else to feel sorry for you.
Very good. Well, I love having you on this show. You've been amazing, and you gave some great tips, and you shared great things, and Listen, we're all motivated. I'm motivated. Thank you so much, Rock Riddle, for being on my show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you for allowing me to do this, to
You're
be
welcome.
on your show. And on behalf of all of your millions and millions and millions of listeners who don't say thank you, I want to say thank you on their behalf.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's my heart's desire. It's how I love people, and I want everyone to be successful and happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you, Rock Riddle. Everybody alive on this earth has a purpose. What is your purpose in life? Are you dreaming of your life, or are you living your dream? Thank you for listening. And we'll see you and come back and listen to us next Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time. We are here every Tuesday. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.